The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Wow.
I guess we're rocking now.
Okay, we're rocking now. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody can hear me at this point. If somebody can chime in real quickly and say that you can now hear me. And real quickly, if somebody can also chime in, did you hear my opening remarks just a second ago? Okay, good.
Right, great.
Okay, so anyways, again, just to be a little redundantly redundant here, I want to thank you guys all for joining. My name is Brian Stevens. I'm going to be the primary presenter today. I'm the host of the National Real Estate Post, formerly Think Big, Work Small, with my partner Frank Array. And we have Kevin Bilberry, who's the architect of Listing Booster, who's also going to be a panelist and help us out with any questions that you guys have right now. And so we want to jump into this. First of all, what I want to say, and I'm not gonna bore you guys with too much detail, but Frank and I, we simply don't endorse products. We're not endorsing Listing Booster. This is something that we are a part of and we believe in. We work with a couple strategic partners who happen to be banks, Allregs, who really occupies their own space, and MGIC, who's a fantastic mortgage insurance company that everybody should be working with. But we don't endorse products. And there's a reason why we don't really do that right now. It's because, first of all, we don't believe in a lot of them. We see a lot of people out there selling magic pills, where if you buy this, if you take this pill, you'll find success and you don't have to do anything about it. We don't really believe in that philosophy. But what we are constantly looking for is trying to find something that is going to be a true value for loan officers and realtors going forward, and something that if they implement it is going to be a value beyond what they currently understand in terms of what their production is. And Listing Booster is exactly that product. So why is Listing Booster, real quickly, the right product at the right time? Well, I want to show you one thing right now. And I went over this before, so again, I'm just being redundant here. But according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, we are going to see a drop in production going forward in 2014 of 32%. Now, 32%, do you believe that? Do you not believe that? I guess that's still up to some conjecture and speculation. But the fact does remain that our production is going to go down. The reason that they believe that is because they believe that rates are going to go up over 5%, and people that are sitting on 30-year fixed-rate loans in the high 3s, low 4s aren't going to be refinancing out of those anytime soon. And I agree. If you have that rate, you're going to be more inclined to go out there and get a HELOC second mortgage type of thing rather than refinancing, pulling cash out of your house and doing improvements or buying wave runners or whatever the hell people do. So we're going to see a very precipitous drop-off in terms of our production in the lending community. And as I said on my show a couple of days ago, ask yourself, what would your business look like if you take a third of what you're making right now and just lop it off the top? Well, we poked a little fun at this, but the fact of the matter is it will fundamentally change your life. You take a third of what you're making off of what you're currently doing right now in 2014, and all of a sudden we don't really have the luxuries and liberties to do the things that we want to do that money affords us. I'm not saying money is the root of all of our happiness, nor is it evil, but it does afford us the opportunity to do things that we want to do. So if you lose a third of your income, it's going to put you in a hard spot. We also know that our average real estate agent out there does 8 sides of a transaction per year, meaning your average real estate agent out there is doing less than 1 side of a transaction per month. This is just a matter of fact. So what that means is your average real estate agent and the potential for your average loan officer going forward in 2014, we have a lot of opportunities in front of us, but we also have a lot of roadblocks and stumbling blocks that are going to keep us from realizing the income levels that we want to make. So your average loan officer is doing about 1.5 deals per month. Your average real estate agent's doing a little bit less than 1 side of a transaction per month. If you're an exceptional loan officer or you're an exceptional real estate agent, you're doing 4, 5, 6, 7 deals per month. As a real estate agent, you're really kicking ass if you're doing 7 deals per month, and you can sustain that not just in 1 month, but on a monthly basis. And it's the same thing with your loan officer. If you're doing 6, 7, 8 deals per month, you probably are affording yourself a nice lifestyle. So here's my point. The difference between being marginal and being exceptional is a very slim line. It's 2 or 3 transactions per month. So the question that we all have, and the reason why you're on this webinar today, is how do you make up that ground in order from going from marginal to exceptional? And when we add in the information that we have for loan officers with respect to the drop-off that we're going to see in production going forward, how do we maintain the ground that we currently have, and how can we actually grow on that? Well, Listing Booster is the product that can help you out. It absolutely can. It will change your business if you follow the roadmap that's in front of you. Not getting the product alone is not good enough. But if you get the product, you understand the product, and you execute the game plan, which is right there in front of you, you will find the success that you're looking for. It's really just that simple. So let's jump into it right now real quickly. So what is Listing Booster? Listing Booster is a number of things, and I believe I have it pulled up here. Let me check it out. Oh, you're seeing all my stuff that I have pulled up here. Okay, so what is Listing Booster? Listing Booster is a product that was built by loan officers for loan officers so they can take something and make themselves indispensable and valuable to real estate agents to help them with their business, so a loan officer could be positioned to earn that realtor's business. It's just that simple. So in order to have Listing Booster, you need to be a loan officer. You have to have an NMLS number to sign up. Now, this is interesting because if you're a real estate agent out there right now, you're going to want to hook up with a loan officer. But the great part about that is you have a symbiotic relationship with a real estate agent and with a loan officer, meaning you guys are both going after the same client, but you're not going after the same dollar. So your marketing opportunities that you have in front of you work side by side with each other rather than against or competing against each other. So if a loan officer signs up for Listing Booster and we go out there and get our realtors, let's look at some of the benefits that we have. So let's go through the whole process. Imagine you're a loan officer right now and you sign up for Listing Booster. What are you going to get with this? Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we need to understand what the product is all about. So Listing Booster for agents is it's an opportunity for an agent to take their take their listings that they currently have and market those listings to get other listings additional above and beyond what they're currently doing, and use their listings as a springboard to get more listings and more clients. And this is a real big one here, guys. When you think of how we market today, if you market in a newspaper, in a magazine, on Facebook, on a blog, on Twitter, in a coffee shop, at a movie theater, on the side of a bus, wherever you're marketing right now, what are you doing? Your marketing time and energy is spent trying to find somebody who is considering buying a house amongst a whole bunch of people who don't necessarily want to buy a house. So you have a general pool of people. You don't have a focused marketing group. Now, when somebody is looking at a house, when somebody is inquiring on a house, you have a high probability that that person actually wants to buy a house. And maybe they would need to sell a house in order to buy that house. So with our marketing time right now, rather than wading through, the fields and fields of people out there who may or may not want to buy a house, wouldn't your marketing time, money, and energy be better spent trying to focus that group to only people who think they probably want to buy a house in the near future? Refinance a house, list a house? The answer is obviously yes. This one's not even really up for debate. So how do we filter through the people who don't want to buy a house, so we're only talking to people who want to buy houses? It's very simple. You try to find the people who are currently looking at houses because there are a higher probability that they're going to buy a house and list a house. Well, how do we do that? Well, what we do, guys, is we market the properties, the listings that we currently have, not only to sell that house, but concurrently use that as a springboard to go out there and find other people who want to buy a house. And that's what Listing Booster does for you. So imagine this world. You're a loan officer and you sign up for Listing Booster, and you go out there and you sign up real estate agents underneath Listing Booster. So what do we need to do here? This is why I like it. It's a very streamlined process that anybody can execute, and it's very easy to understand. So what you're going to do as a loan officer is you're going to go into your Listing Booster account. See this little icon here? Kind of set up like a tablet. You're going to hit Add or Manage an Agent. And I got to sign back in. I'm signing in as Kevin. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add or manage an agent here. We're going to add a new agent. And then we're going to put that agent's number in that is associated. It's the email address that they are currently using with their multiple listing system. Okay, so it's, I have multiple email accounts. So when we're adding in an email account, it has to be the email that is associated with that realtor's multiple listing system. Big one here, guys. We got to also make sure that and this is big, we need to make sure that we get that email address right, because sometimes we have Sally, dot Kozlowski, at prime underscore real estate / all this crazy stuff. We need to make sure that we actually get the email address in right. But once we've done that, that realtor is off and running. So what's going to happen at that point is the real estate agent is going to get an email from Listing Booster that's going to say, congratulations for signing up with Brian Stevens on Listing Booster to help you be more successful and all this good stuff. And please finish filling out your profile. So what the realtor is going to have to do at that point is they're going to have to finish filling out their profile. So what does that entail? So the agent's profile. Sorry, and we will correct this little issue that we're having right now with doing this. But anyways, so we're going to go in here, and first of all, the loan officer is going to have to fill out their profile. What does it look like? Well, it's very intuitive. It's your email address, your name, your phone number, your company, your NMLS number, your zip code, your mobile number. Then you're going to have to upload your picture. You're going to have to upload your logo. Fairly easy stuff here. Now, once you sign up a real estate agent, as we just showed you a moment ago, by going over here and simply clicking on adding a new agent, adding them in with their MLS email account, what's going to happen at that point is that the agent is going to go ahead and they're going to get an email, which is going to tell them to finish filling out their profile, which is going to look very much like the profile that needs to be filled out from the loan officer. So what happens at that point? There's one or two things that are going to take place here, guys. And this is great. This is where all the magic from Listing Booster comes in. So what happens is if you are working with List Hub, if your MLS is participating with List Hub, which about half in the country are, a little over half at this point, and the agent's real estate company is signed up with List Hub. Now, for loan officers out there, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is List Hub? Well, for our realtors out there, they all know what it is. Okay, List Hub is a company that kind of aggregates. Okay. So what happens if they're working with a company called List Hub and they're signed up for it, they're going to get this email. It's going to auto-populate part of their profile, and they're just going to have to fill in the rest, which is uploading their picture, and uploading their logo and maybe filling out their address. Again, we're talking about a couple of seconds here. Now, you and that real estate agent have a working relationship. So what does that working relationship entail, and what makes Listing Booster so exciting? Well, let's view what Listing Booster is going to do on these properties. So this is a sample account, but this is very much what a real estate agent's Listing Booster account would look like. So we have Angie Agent over here, and we've got a number of different properties: 123 Home Run Drive, 100 Paradise Cove, 1592 Mockingbird Lane. Mockingbird Lane, interesting. Okay, so we have these three properties in here. If you had multiple agents, you would see multiple accounts going in here that as a loan officer, you would be a super admin. You can go check them all out. So what Listing Booster is going to do for you, once it recognizes the property that that agent has listed, it's going to do a number of things. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to create a dedicated web page. Okay. Now, is a dedicated web page reinventing the wheel? I don't want to lose anybody right now, okay, because everyone's going to say, okay, been there, done that. Okay, but I want you to look at this dedicated web page that Listing Booster is building for you. And what I find exciting about this is, first of all, it's got a nice layout. So you'll notice the color scheme that you're seeing here. When your agent is setting up their profile, they can change the color scheme for their dedicated web pages to look like the color schemes that they have for their company. So, if you're a Keller Williams, you might be looking at kind of a gold and maroon. If you're a RE/MAX, you're going to be kind of the whole red, white, and blue. Coldwell Banker, you're going to have your deep blue colors. Listing Booster is going to very easily and seamlessly fit the color schemes of whatever that real estate company is looking for. And then the other part of it is you'll notice we have the property here, and we're giving all the information on it. It's branded over here only to the agent, okay? And by the way, for agents out there, you don't need your loan officer necessarily on your dedicated web pages. It's got the property address, all the information on the property. It nicely takes you through the pictures here. But what also happens is say I'm a potential buyer and I fall across this dedicated web page on 100 Paradise Cove in Austin, Texas. Well, I don't necessarily want this house, but I have a house I need to sell, okay? So I can engage and find out what my house is worth. Maybe this isn't my house. I can find my ideal home. I can get a foreclosure list. I can inquire on this home if this is what I want to do. I can look at the virtual tour. I could see a map of the property, which is going to pull up a Google map showing you the overview of where it is, find out schools in the area. I also get print flyers on the property. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I can do here. Now, what you guys need to understand here is whenever I, a potential buyer, am engaging on any one of these dedicated web pages, and I fill out the information, it takes me to a squeeze page. What happens here on any of this is it's going to take my information, and then it's going to send that lead to both the realtor and the lender who are branded to that Listing Booster account. And then what it's going to do is it's going to reroute them, and this is part of the setup process, it's going to reroute them to the page that's going to give them the information that they're looking for. So what we've done is we have used one of our dedicated web pages here on every single property. We've used one of our dedicated web pages to not only sell the house, give all the information on the house in question, but we've given the potential viewer or the potential buyer who's ran across this piece of marketing material the opportunity to engage us on a multitude of levels. And it's going to take that lead and send it back to the realtor and the loan officer so they can go ahead and act on that. Well, how do they act on that? Well, when they go into their Listing Booster account on a daily basis, they're going to click over here on their web leads. And what's going to happen is their web leads is going to tell you the property, the agent, the email address, and the phone number of that potential lead. So imagine yourself every day when you're waking up in the morning, one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to go out there and check your Listing Booster account, go to your dashboard, see if you have any leads there, and you're going to call on those leads. Now, the great thing about these leads are they're people who are actually looking at houses. So our marketing time and energy is going to be talking with people who are actually looking at houses, the listings that your realtors have, the listings that you're branding along with your loan officer on this. So imagine if you're a loan officer and you have 20 agents in your Listing Booster account, you have 20 dedicated web pages. As people are running across this and the leads come in, you call those leads, you pre-qualify those leads, you give them over to the agents. Now, this is powerful, guys, because, again, the difference between being marginal and exceptional is a couple of deals. If Listing Booster through the dedicated web pages alone is picking up a deal or two per month for you, it becomes an extremely powerful tool. So we have our dedicated web pages. One other thing I want to point out here, if you don't have a Listing Booster account, okay, if you don't have a List Hub account, and there's going to be areas of the country that don't have List Hub, okay, and the only difference here is that means that the agent or the loan officer needs to manually input the information on the listing in question in order to have Listing Booster execute all the fantastic stuff it can do for them. Now, I just ran across this a couple of days ago because I know there's going to be loan officers on here saying, well, I'm not doing it. And there might be some realtors on here saying, or loan officers are saying realtors won't do it either. But realtors will. Because if a realtor is going to take the time on their listing to upload it to their MLS, are they willing to take a couple of extra moments, literally a couple of extra moments, to put that same information into Listing Booster? Again, if your average agent is doing less than one side of a transaction per month, we're not talking about inputting 50,000 listings here. We're talking about putting in maybe a couple listings a month. The time is inconsequential. And how do I know agents will actually take the time to put the information in? Well, I ran across this the other day, and this happens to be a real estate agent of one of my good friends. Now, this is a dedicated web page, which is free, and it's from a company called Postlets.com. Now, I want you to look at this dedicated web page. Here, it's Alicia Freitas. If you're on the line right now, I apologize. By the way, great job on putting the work in to actually do this. So with Keller Williams, we've got the phone number up here, but we don't have a picture. We don't have a logo. We don't have branding on this. And my God, we don't even have the color scheme for Keller Williams. I mean, truth be told, when you're looking at the backdrop on this property right now, it's making me dizzy, okay? Look at how this is formatted to your screen right now. You have this very little, tiny, shrunken in piece of information on this property, which is giving you the basic information. But what I want you to notice here is if I'm the potential buyer who ran across this piece of marketing material, I don't know that much information about Alicia. In fact, I don't even have that much information on the property other than the bare bones of it, unlike what we have on Listing Booster. But most importantly, I can't engage this on any level as a potential buyer. So what if I want more about this house? What if I want to find out what my house is worth? What if I want to find out, see an overview of this? What if I want to get a list of foreclosures? What if I want to see other properties? I can't do any of that crap here. I can't do nothing. Okay, I'm just looking at this property, which is this is just me. This is just Brian Stevens here, but I'm looking at this, and I know that Leisha put some time into getting this thing done. She actually had to manually input this, but this is the end product, and this is the only thing that it does. Now, maybe this does help her sell the property. Maybe it doesn't. But what I know is she's willing to put the time in to get this as an end product. So my question to you is, would you rather have this as an end product that you can't engage on any level, or would you rather have this is an end product where we can engage it on a number of different levels, where we've got the picture, we've got the agent's information, we've got the and the company information on here as well, where we can engage this a ton of different ways. Okay, so obviously the answer is that Listing Booster. We know that agents are willing to put the time and energy in to fill out the information necessary to get a piece of marketing material on their listings out there. But what are they getting as a result? Well, they're not getting what Listing Booster does, but what we have with the dedicated web pages and the fact that people can engage, and the fact that it's going to take those leads and it's going to hand them off to the loan officers and to the real estate agents so they can call on them on a daily basis, is only the beginning. So what else is Listing Booster going to do for that agent? Well, let's go back here. So we're going to look at our listing again. So we know that we have the dedicated web pages. Okay. So on top of that, what we also have on top of the websites here is we have virtual tours. This is actually kind of a cool thing here. So this is a sample virtual tour that we have, a high definition virtual tour. Let me turn the music down on here. And by the way, as far as the music goes, when you're setting up your profile as a real estate agent, you can go in here and change the music. You can change the theme to your high definition virtual tours here. But each property has its own dedicated web page, high definition virtual tour. And this is fantastic for, again, a couple of reasons. First of all, if you notice over here, I as a potential buyer can engage this property or this virtual tour. So I can get the same information, which is going to take me to the same squeeze pages, which is then going to give me the information that I'm looking for if it's not necessarily this house. And it's going to take that lead and it's going to send it to the dashboard of both the real estate agent and the loan officer who are using this as part of their marketing material. I also want you to notice over here that this is a branded virtual tour. So realtors out there know you have a branded and a unbranded version of a virtual tour. So what's the difference and why does it matter? Well, here's the big thing, guys, and this is a great piece for loan officers to talk with their realtor partners about. Most of the MLSs across the country, they only allow you to have unbranded virtual tours, meaning this Angie agent over here, this Agent Realty, would not be there, okay? So it will not be branded to the agent who has the listing in question on the virtual tour. Why don't the MLSs across the country allow for this? Well, it's very simple. All the MLSs across the country, they have IDX feeds, which means people are paying for these IDX feeds where they're pulling information from the MLSs and they're using them on their blogs and their marketing tools. And if I have my blog and I have an IDX feed, the last thing I want to do is market you. So MLSs, by and large, only allow for unbranded virtual tours. Here's the cool thing about Listing Booster. When an agent is working within Listing Booster, they're going to put into their MLS that they want to use the unbranded virtual tour. Okay? So for all the IDX feeds out there, Listing Booster recognizes that they don't allow for branding, and so they pull it off. We're still getting the marketing power out there. Okay? We're being compliant with our MLSs. That's a good thing. But there are sites like Trulia and Zillow and Realtor.org, and those sites, which most of the people, the vast majority of people who are looking at properties are starting their search on those sites. Like it or not, personally, I don't care for it, but that's just our reality. You know, people are at these sites and they are a staple. They're a cornerstone of where people are looking at houses. Well, those sites allow for branded tours. Now, Listing Booster internally recognizes this. So when the realtor puts in to their MLS that they want an unbranded tour, it will send out through the MLS, and it will send those unbranded tours to the places to make them compliant. But for the other sites that allow the branded tours, Listing Booster will brand those to the agents, which means the agents are going to get much more marketing punch out of this. So how does that work? Well, let's just kind of go over here and pull up a Trulia. Okay, so now when you go to Trulia, and I'm going to look at properties in Vacaville, California, where I live, okay? Now, you'll notice here on Trulia, okay, let's, I don't know, let's go check out Udell Road, okay? Oh my goodness, Sarah McKendry. This is one of my good friends. I used to work with her when I was a loan officer. So this is one of Sarah's listings. Hold on. Okay, this is great. And by the way, just to let you know, okay, guys, this is huge. This is so cool. Now, Sarah McKendry, who's right above my head right now, she's a good friend of mine. She's a fantastic agent. She's got tons of listings locally. She's somebody who any loan officer in Solano County and Vacaville would want to work with, okay? So here's one of her listings in Vacaville, California, okay? Now, so let's think about what's happening here. If you're somebody who's potentially buying a property, okay, and you're going to go to Trulia, okay, and you're going to look at a property and you're going to say, oh, 4716 Udell Road for $370,000. I kind of like this property. Now, before you go ahead and contact and engage agents on this stuff, and when you don't have a paid Trulia account as an agent, there's going to be a whole bunch of agents up here. So before you go to actually engage or be contacted by an agent on this property, you're going to see everything that you want to see about it, right? Okay, all right, I see. I like it. I'm going to look at all the pictures over here. You know, I'm going to check it out, and I kind of like this. $370,000. Let me see. What a dump. I think it's out in the country. But anyways, okay. So I'm going to look at all this, and then what happens is I'm going to contact an agent. Well, through Trulia, what's going to happen is that information is going to be sent out to a crap load of other agents, which means Sarah McKendry's marketing her property over here, but there's a good chance that her lead on her property is going to go to another agent. But think about this. Before you want to get, if you're a potential buyer, before you want to get contacted by an agent, you're going to look at everything before you take that act, before you make that move. One of the things you're going to do is click on the virtual tour. Now, Sarah McKendry is not, I repeat, is not working with Listing Booster. Because if she was, her virtual tour would look decidedly different. Now, I'm going to click on this. What happens here? Look at this. Anything stand out? Anything? Anything? It's not branded. It's not branded. This virtual tour that you're looking at, that you were just looking at there, it's not branded. Meaning, if somebody wants to engage from Trulia and they go to that virtual tour, they're going to go back here to Trulia, they're going to click contact, and then that lead is going to get sent out to a bunch of different realtors, and they're all going to start calling on Sarah's clients, somebody who's calling on her listing. Trulia and Zillow, their business model is simply this. They're trying to find a way to get in between you and a conversation about real estate on your listings and take that lead and sell it back to you. That's what they do. But now, if Sarah was, and I promise you on this, she will by next week, if Sarah was working with a loan officer locally who was using Listing Booster, what would happen when we clicked on this virtual tour? This is a huge, huge difference, guys, and it can't be underplayed at all. If she had Listing Booster, when we clicked on this virtual tour, what it would do is it would reroute it back to a virtual tour that would look something like this. Notice the fundamental difference. I now am no longer going in a position to where I have to engage Trulia to where my lead is going to get sold off. The only person who the potential buyer is going to be contacting on this virtual tour is going to be the agent who has the listing. Okay? The last virtual tour that you looked at from Sarah McKendry was not branded. They'd have to click back and contact through Trulia to where that lead is getting sold off. If you're using Listing Booster, it will redirect you to a Listing Booster virtual tour to where they can engage the property, okay? And look here, contact only the agent in question who has the listing. So, using Listing Booster with our virtual tours, just to be clear about this, I gave you a completely accidental lifetime example of why Listing Booster is better for agents. Sarah McKendry right now on that property is losing potential buyers on Trulia, where many people start their search, because when they click on that virtual tour, they have to click back to Trulia and they have to contact an agent from there, and that lead gets sold off. If you're using Listing Booster, it reroutes you to this virtual tour right here, to where the only person in question is going to be the agent who gets that lead. It is a monumental shift in marketing, very subtle, but monumental. If 85% of the people are starting their search online, think about this, guys. How many deals are realtors losing out on because they don't have the ability to keep the leads on the listings that they currently have? With Listing Booster and real estate agents, it creates these for you, the high definition virtual tours on their own dedicated pages. It creates the opportunity for the agent the potential buyer to engage. It reroutes people off of the Trulias of the world, the Zillows of the world, and it keeps these leads in the back pocket of the agents who deserve them in the first place. Of course, when anybody engages here, what does it do? That lead then gets sent back to both the real estate agent and the loan officer in the form of a web lead. So every day when we go in there, the agent and the loan officer, the agents obviously are only looking at their leads, but as far as the loan officer goes, you're going to get to see who the agent is, what the property address is, the phone number, and the email. And so what your job is to do is go out there and engage these leads, the people who are looking at houses. Very, very, very powerful stuff here, guys. So what do we have so far? We have two things. First of all, we have our dedicated web pages, okay? We have our high definition virtual tours that are branded on the sites that allow, so our agents keep more leads, and they are unbranded to keep these agents compliant with regards to their MLS and their IDX feeds. On top of that, the other thing that we have is and this is huge, guys, is we have a mobile component. Now, what does the mobile component do? Well, this is kind of a cool thing. So a lifetime example. Okay, right now, let's just say that you're a potential buyer once again, and you're driving around, and I've done this myself. Hell, I did this as recently as a year ago. My wife, she loves doing this crap. She drives neighborhoods looking for houses that she wants to live in, and she doesn't like go to the paper necessarily. She finds the areas that she wants to live in, and she goes and drives through them, and then she calls me up, do you want to go look at this house? And I'm like, no, leave me the hell alone. I'm working, right? But, this is what she does. This is what people do. They drive around neighborhoods that they like, and they're like, oh, that's a cool house. Well, they don't necessarily want to call an agent up and have them come down and wait around the thing, but boy, they want to learn more information about the property. Now, again, not reinventing the wheel here, but Listing Booster makes the wheel more round. Now, imagine on your realtor's listings, or if you're a realtor, imagine on your listings. Again, this technology already exists. So somebody's driving through that neighborhood, they see one of your listings, and they say, I don't really, it's a Thursday night at 6 o'clock, it's after work. By the way, you're the agent. You probably don't want to drive down there and show the damn house anyways, right? Because you're done with your day, you're tired, your kids are getting D's in math, and you know what I mean? And the dog just chewed up the corner of the coffee table, and you need to have a glass of wine, and you know how it goes. So anyways, so somebody's driving by one of your listings out there at 6 o'clock at night on a Thursday or whatever it is, and they say, oh, I kind of like this house. I want to learn more about it. But imagine you have the sign writer on there. And your sign writer is going to look something like one of these on top of your properties. Now, everybody in the world has a smartphone, right? I mean, everybody has a smartphone. My kids have smartphones right now. I have everybody does. So imagine if you had a sign writer on there and they say, okay, and the person who's looking at that property wants to engage it. They don't necessarily want to talk to an agent. And they see the sign writer and it says, hey, do you want to tour this home first on your phone right now, as these sign writers say? So what it does is you're going to have a number that you text to, and then you're going to have a code that's associated with that specific property. And when they type this in, it's going to send a high definition virtual tour over to that property. So let's do this live time right now, okay? So if you have a smartphone right now, what I want you to do, we're going to do 100 Paradise Cove in Austin, Texas. So I want everybody to pick up their smartphone, okay? And I am going to text. So I'm going to go to text. I got an iPhone 4. And I'm going to text. The number I'm going to text to, and I want you guys to do this right now, type in the number 2, 878787. Got it? Okay. Now, in the body of your text, see this? Oh, by the way, just to let you know, that's my editor. He put that on my computer because he thought it was funny. It was one of our shows, so don't freak out. Okay, so what we're going to text to, the number we're going to text to, I want you to type in LBR. Do this right now. I'm doing it. 700. Okay, so the number you're texting to is 878787. In the body of your text, it's LBR 700. I'm doing it right now. All right, I just sent that off. In a couple of seconds here, we're going to see what's going to happen. Now, this is really cool because somebody's driving by properties, very much like my wife does. They want to engage a property. It's late in the evening. They don't necessarily want to see the agent at that moment. Okay? Well, I want to learn more information. So what happens is Listing Booster is going to take that. It's going to take that listing. It's going to send me all the information along with a virtual tour, which is going to be branded to both the real estate agent and the lender. Okay? I know we got a pretty strong glare right there, but you get the idea. If you typed it in, you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Now, here's the cool thing. So what happens then is now that I type that in, I go back to my dashboard. I want you to look at something. I look at my text leads. Guess what, guys? Everybody who just typed that in, congratulations. You have now just given me your information. You are a lead that I, as a loan officer or a real estate agent, can go ahead and execute on that next day. I literally, everyone who just typed in LBR, or excuse me, the number 878787, and in the body of the text put in LBR 700 from our SideRider on our house that you're going to have on your listings with your agents, okay? I now have just gotten every one of your phone numbers. I know the property that you called on. I know the time. It's time, date, and stamped. I've got your phone number. I've got all your information. What that is somebody who's looking at a house right now, okay? Imagine, as a loan officer, as a realtor, you wake up in the morning. You not only go and find out what your web leads are, but you go and you find out what your text leads are, okay? Now, Kevin, who's on the phone, and I'm going to bring him in here in a few minutes, but Kevin, who's the architect of Listing Booster, who put this together. He listed his house. I know this as a matter of, I know this. He lived in Austin, Texas, and he moved over to Tampa. And when he did this, he was at the point no longer working in the capacity as a loan officer. He was working more in kind of a marketing thing in the infancy of what Listing Booster is. So he put a SideRider on his house and did this. And in the course of 60 days, he got 40 leads. In the course of 60 days, there were 40 freaking leads on the house. Now, his house was in a desirable area. There was a lot of traffic around there. And I'm not over here going to misrepresent this saying you're going to get 40 leads on each one of these properties. But is it reasonable to assume that you might get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 15? Is that reasonable? Think about this, guys. With your SideRiders through Listing Booster, it's like holding every single house you have open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And it's like, you know, when you're holding a house open, you say, oh, can you please sign my book? Can you sign in for my registration? You're doing that so you can get their information so you can call them back. Okay? Listing Booster, it does that for you. It's like having everybody sign in. You get their information, the people who are looking at houses. Imagine as a realtor or lender, you wake up every day, you go to your web leads from your dedicated web pages. You get your, high definition virtual tour leads, okay, that are going to be coming from the sites like Trulia and Zillow, where 85% of the people are starting their search online, and you've got your branded virtual tours there, which is going to allow the realtors to capture more of their leads. You've got your SideRiders out on these properties where each one, it's like holding house open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and Listing Booster takes all these potential leads and sends them back to you. It's huge. It's a game changer. Okay. Now, these three components alone, I want you to think about this if you're a loan officer out there right now. Say you sign up 20 agents. You find your best 20 agents that you have out there. You sign them up. Okay. You have to be RESPA compliant, don't you? Listing Booster is 100% very much RESPA compliant, unlike our competition. Your Listing Booster account, it's $197, but let's round it up to $200 a month. Okay? So as a loan officer, you buy a Listing Booster account. You get 100 accounts, 100 separate accounts. If you're paying $200 a month, each one of those accounts has a value of $2. 100 accounts, $2 an account. Okay? 100 accounts, $200 a month. Now, in order to be RESPA compliant, you need to split any marketing cost with that real estate agent in question. Okay? So if you're signing them up, each agent gets one account. Okay? Now, when you sign one agent up, and all you have to do is put their email in, as we talked about before, okay? And then they just fill out their profile and they're good to go. That's one account. Every listing that agent gets all this fantastic marketing with Listing Booster. Now, the cost of that account is $2 per month. So the cost of that account is $24 a year, meaning the financial obligation to be RESPA compliant, okay, this is a big one, guys, is $12 per year from the real estate agent, meaning the cost is really inconsequential. It's $12 a year. Through Listing Booster, that realtor, to be RESPA compliant, we've got, where is it on here? Oh, I don't see it. Kevin, are you there? No, I got it. And the reason is because I'm signed in under my agent right here. But if I'm the loan officer, and in fact, let me just sign up here real quickly. Hold on real quick, guys. I'm trying to dual browse this thing here, so just hang tight with me. So I was signed in under the agent. And by the way, there's a point to be made there, is as a loan officer, you can sign into all of your agents' accounts. So in the event that you want to help them upload some of their listings, or there's any information that you can help them out with, you kind of have like a super admin on there. Okay, so if each one of the accounts has a value of $2 a piece, if you look right over here, guys, agent invoicing, all we have to do as a loan officer is we click on there, okay? And then what we do is we figure out it's $11.82. I mean, it's $12. It's charged $12. You enable the invoicing on here. You put the person, you put the company, you save the settings. And then what you also do is you put in how the agent paid, either through cash, check, or credit card. Again, it's $12. It's the cost of a foot-long Subway sandwich, a soft drink, and a damn cookie, okay, for a year of fantastic marketing. So the agent can pay any one of those three ways, and then Listing Booster is actually going to create an invoice, send it to the agent, and keep one internally for you to make sure that you're RESPA compliant. So you get 100 accounts out there, okay? For $200 a month as a loan officer, you get 100 accounts. For a real estate agent out here, here's the great part. It's $12 a year to you, okay? And I'm going to deviate or digress for 1 minute here. When somebody says, well, if I only sign up one agent, it's $200 a month, then that agent's going to actually have to be responsible for 100 of that $200, okay? And just to split hairs on this so we don't go down this road with questions, that's not true. Because you as a loan officer, you're paying for 100 accounts. That's what you get. You get it, like it or not, 100 accounts. If you sign up 100 agents or you sign up 2 agents, you're getting 100 accounts. So imagine if you're a loan officer and you went out there and you bought sign riders, okay? And say you bought 100 sign riders for $1,000, okay? So 100 sign riders for $1,000. Each one of those individual sign riders has a marketing value of $10 a piece, right? You buy 100, $10 a piece. That's how you get your $1,000. If I take one sign and I put it over on Susie's listing, okay, Susie owes me $5 of that $10 for that one sign rider because that's the marketing piece that she is using, okay? Susie does not need to pay me for my other 99 sign riders over here because she is not using that marketing piece. She is using 1/100th of my $1,000 investment, which is going to be $10, and she has to pay for 5. Now, think about this logically. If I charge Susie 50 of my $100, okay, well, and I go and I use another one of these listings on her competition, okay, a sign rider on her competition, she's she's effectively subsidizing the marketing for somebody else, and that is very much not RESPA compliant. So the cost, just to be clear on this, to a real estate agent is rounding up $12 a year, okay? Because the loan officer is getting 100 accounts. So getting back to what we're talking about here, assuming that we've got the compliancy issue under control, let's say you're a loan officer and you go sign up 20 agents. Now, how do you sign up 20 agents? Well, here's a way you can do it. I was driving through my neighborhood. I talked about this before, and it was on a Saturday. I was down at work because I work 7 days a week. I was driving home and I saw these signs for open houses. I mean, think about an open house. What's happening here? That is an agent who is working on the weekend, taking time away from their personal time or their family time. They're doing it on Saturdays and Sundays. They're doing these things from, 10 to 1 to from 1 to 4, but they're taking a big chunk of their Saturday or their Sunday in hopes that somebody's going to come by and look at that property, in hopes they might be interested in buying that property or buying another house. So we have a real estate agent who is money driven. It's somebody who's trying to find success. But let's face it. I mean, it's a good thing to do. I love open houses, but it's not a highly effective way of getting a whole bunch of leads by and large. Your average open house is going to get a couple people to go through there. You're going to have people sign up, and maybe you get a lead. If you do it every week, maybe you get a lead a month, okay? But we know we have a motivated agent there. So imagine if you're a loan officer and you're going to these open houses on a Saturday, because I know you're all professionals. You're 100% dedicated professionals, and you want to be the best that you could possibly be. So imagine you take a few hours out of your Saturdays or Sundays, you go to these different open houses, and you find these highly motivated real estate agents who, for the most part, are kind of sitting, waiting for people to come in. You've got your computer with you. You pull up Listing Booster. You show them how this can help them market their property, not only while they're doing the open houses, but even when they're not having an open house, and how it can generate leads, and how it can create dedicated web pages, and how it can create high-definition virtual tours, and how it's programmed so they can keep their own leads when they're going, when they send out to Trulia and Zillow and sites like that, and how this is going to make them more successful, and how it's only going to cost them $12 a year, $12 and they're done. How many agents are going to say no to this? And the answer is none. And we know that because when I look at some of these other sites that these other agents are using, where's the one that I got? I got so many things pulled up here. When I see the agents are doing crap like this, and this is crap, okay, would they rather have this, which doesn't do anything for them, or would they rather have this that they can engage, which takes them to squeeze pages, which then takes that lead and it sends it back to that agent, where they can go to their dashboard, and they can go to their text leads, and they can go to their web leads. I mean, everything else we just talked about here, how many agents would rather do that? It's just a game changer. So if you're a loan officer and you go sign up 20 agents, okay, and your average agent has, let's say they have 2 listings apiece on average, you get 20 agents in there. That means you're looking at 40 dedicated web pages that are interactive that send you leads. We're looking at 40 high-definition virtual tours on their own pages that are interactive, that send you and sends the realtor leads. We're talking about 40 sign writers whenever anybody drives by their smartphone, what you just did, it's going to send them information. Holding the house is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's going to take that. It's going to send that lead to you, okay? And we're going to get into some other stuff we can do here real quickly, and we're going to wrap this up. Do you think it's reasonable to assume that if you had 20 agents in there and that you were doing all this and working it to the maximum of its ability, and by the way, this is just a matter of execution. It's just a matter of you doing it. Do you think if you had 20 agents in there who had 2 listings and you had all these pieces out there, do you think it's reasonable to assume that you might get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more deals per month? And by the way, not to mention that you are making yourself indispensable to these agents when all this marketing is happening for them automatically. Once all you have to do is put their email address in there. Do you think that you might get 2 or 3 or 4 more deals per month? And do you think that the difference between being marginal 1 or 2 deals per month or 7 or 8 deals per month, that fine line right there for you to be successful going forward in 2014 is just those 2 or 3 or 4 deals? Do you think this is a possibility? And the answer is, guys, it's a no effing brainer. The only reason why we're endorsing this product, the only reason we're working with Kevin right now is because this one, frankly, is a game changer. It's just a game changer. You're not only going to get the leads through Listing Booster, but it's going to put a situation to where you're having more conversations with these agents, and you're going to put yourself in a position to get the leads that they're getting outside of Listing Booster. I want you to think of another thing here. When you put your agent in there, and once they get the property up in Listing Booster, okay, it's going to take that information, and Listing Booster is going to create the high-definition virtual tour, the dedicated web page. It's going to create the sign writer. Oh, by the way, we haven't even gotten into this, but it's going to show the sites that it can send out to. It's going to go on your Facebook fan page, their Facebook fan page. It's going to automatically get uploaded to YouTube. We haven't even gotten into that. It's going to create the most seamless, and I say this with a grain of salt, the most seamless way to get these properties uploaded to Craigslist, because Craigslist is somewhat difficult, and it's going to help through their MLS to send out to a whole multitude of other sites. So whenever they put their information in, that gets sent to the agent courtesy of you, from you. So every agent you put in there on every listing they always get, they're going to be reminded about all the badass stuff that you're doing for them. But the other part of it is whenever an agent puts anything into their MLS, okay, and it goes up to Listing Booster, it's going to send the loan officer, it's going to send you an email that says, hey, Sally down there at Coldwell Banker, or in my case, Sarah McKendry over there at Coldwell Banker, right? She just had a new house that was listed over there on 123 Any Darn Street for $145,000. Again, we need an executable plan going forward in 2014. You as a good loan officer, now not only do you call your text leads, not only do you call your web leads, but then whenever you get these emails over from the agents, you're going to call that agent up because I know you're badass at what you do. And you're going to say, hey, Sarah, congratulations on your listing over here. This is fantastic. By the way, check your email. Got all this great marketing that's done for you from Listing Booster. You could forward this on to your seller and let them know how you're marketing their house above and beyond what your competition simply can't do. Why don't you send that over to them? Congratulations on this. And oh, by the way, I'm going to go put a sign writer up on this property so we can capture those leads as well. Those text leads that everybody, if you typed in that number, I've got your information right now, okay? One of the many facets of Listing Booster, okay? I'm going to go put that sign writer on that property, okay? So we can get listings, we can market this property, you could sell it faster and for a higher dollar, and maybe, my God, you're going to wow your seller so much that they're going to refer you to their friends because you're better than your competition, Sarah. So anyways, I'm driving over there right now to put that sign writer on. So when you go over there and you put that sign writer on as a loan officer, you're going to knock on that door and you're going to say, hey, Bobby, how you doing? My name is Brian Stevens. I work over here at ABC Mortgage. I'm working with Sarah McKendry. You probably heard about this from the listing presentation. I'll show you that in a minute. And I'm going to put a sign writer on here so people can drive by in the evenings when they're looking at your house, and rather than knocking on your door and upsetting your family at dinner time, they can check out the property, and it's going to give us the opportunity to call those leads up so we can sell your house faster and get the best top dollar for it. So I'm going to do this right now. I just wanted to let you know, if you see me, in your front yard, I'm just putting the sign right up. You cool with that? He's going to go, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And then you're going to say, oh, by the way, yeah, congratulations on selling your house. Hey, I'm a mortgage lender. You buying another house in the area? You got your financing in order? Would you like a rate quote? Do you want to look at any other products? What kind of loan are you getting right now? Maybe you want to consider this loan. You catch my drift, guys? People who are selling houses, by and large, are buying houses. I mean, if it's a divorce, hell, you get 2 loans out of it, right? Or maybe they're buying somebody out of it. Short of death, muerte, people are buying other houses. And if they're buying in the area, they don't have their financing set up already. It puts you in a situation to where you pick up leads. Sellers buy, right? Sellers buy homes. So imagine, again, we're talking about the difference between marginal and exceptional. You're putting these sign writers on. You will pick up business from the people whose houses are listed through your real estate agents. Think about it, because they just listed their house. When a realtor gets a listing, chances are they're going to go back to their office. They're going to put it in their MLS. It's going to get up to Listing Booster. It's going to generate an email to you. That means you're talking with that person the day the house is listed. There's a very, very good chance that they don't have their finances in order for the house that they're looking going forward on. Very, very good chance. Can you pick up deals there? Abso-freaking-lutely. You can. So when we're thinking about this as a loan officer, you get 20 agents in there. You've got 2 listings apiece. There's 40 pieces of marketing out there. You get your text leads. You're getting your web leads. Listing Booster is doing all of this crap for you automatically. Okay? Now, where is it going to be sent to? And when you're having a conversation with an agent says, heck yes, I want to do this. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. And by the way, if they say no, it's because they don't truly understand what this could do for you. Okay? You're going to say, great, because once a real estate agent signs up there, what happens is we have a listing presentation through Listing Booster that agent can go and use, okay, that they can go ahead and use. So when they go on their listing presentation, I want you to think about this. If you're a realtor out there right now and you go on your listing presentation, what makes you different than your competition? Ask yourself that. Now, you are going to get some listings built on relationships and referrals. It's just going to happen, okay? You've got your friends, your coworkers, maybe, you know, they're one of your lifelong clients out there, or they're a relative of a lifelong client, that type of thing. You're going to get some listings because of who you are and all the hard work and the good work that you do. But there are those occasions where you're going to have to go up there against competition and fight for that listing. This is the world that once we get, you know, we're getting away from foreclosures, this is the world that we're going to occupy. So how do we get that listing? How do we stand out amongst our competition if we're a realtor out there? Well, one thing you can do, which is a stupid idea, is you can compromise your compensation. You could be a discount real estate agent out there. Oh yeah, I'll list the whole thing for 4%. You know, I'll take 1.5 and I'll give 2.5 to whoever brings the buyer. Well, that's not a good idea. I don't care what anyone says. When you discount what you charge, you discount what you do. Okay? But that's one thing that you can do. But the other thing that you can do is, you know, of course you're going to hold open houses. Of course you're going to market it on the MLS. Of course you're going to put it in your local, you know, rag newspaper, magazine, whatever the case is. But on top of that, imagine if you're an agent and you're going on your presentation, Listing Booster is going to give you this. It'll be branded to you, but Listing Booster is going to give you a presentation that you can give to the agent. Of course I'm going to do what my competition does. That's what you're going to tell your potential seller. Of course I'm going to do that. But on top of that, immediately upon taking your listing, I'm going to automatically create a high-definition virtual tour. No, excuse me, I'm going to create a dedicated web page, which is going to be interactive. So we can go ahead and track these leads down, talk to them so they can engage your property. We've got smartphone functionality on sign writers that we're going to do, which our competition doesn't do. We're going to create stunning high-definition virtual tours on their own pages. We're going to syndicate this out to every single site that you could possibly think of. You can send it to Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, AOL, Craigslist, I mean Google, HotPads, Military.com, Zillow, Trulia. You know, it's endless. Twitter. Listing Booster is going to do this for you. So we're going to market it above and beyond what our competition does. We also have a smart Facebook functionality to where we've got apps for your Facebook fan pages for both the realtors and the lenders, where each and every one of your listings is going to be exposed to everybody who is following you on your fan page and your lender's fan page. We've got LinkedIn over here. We're going to answer every single question. So we got our sign writers over here. We're going to put up on your property where it can be engaged, where I can both send it and it can both be received. Okay. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this the day after I list your property. In short, what it's going to do is it's going to give you the opportunity to stand out above and beyond your competition. It's a remarkable, remarkable tool. So syndication, not through Listing Booster, but syndication through all the sites that we have right now, your dedicated web pages. Okay. It's going onto YouTube. It's sending out to these sites. Smartphone capability. Branded virtual tours where branded are allowed, which is a huge one, which I just showed you before, while allowing the agents to stay compliant with their MLS. Okay, it's an absolute game changer. And for realtors out there, it's $12 a month. You know, the question that I have is, would you rather have that for your marketing, or would you rather have this? By the way, this shit right here begins and ends with this. Would you rather have this, or would you rather have every single thing that Listing Booster can do for you? Because money is not an option on this one. For loan officers, you go sign up 20, 30 agents. Ask yourself, if refinances fall off a cliff this next year, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This gives you an executable plan. You sign up for Listing Booster. You watch the tutorials. They're all on the home page. You go out, you message agents, the ones that you know. Okay? You talk to agents that you don't know. You hit the open houses. You put in the hard work up front. And boy, the hard work is you got to put their damn email address in. Think you can do that? You think you can get somebody to say, yeah, market me better than my competition? And, oh, yeah, it's going to take you, 5 minutes of setting up your profile and putting in an email address. How hard is that? You can do this one, guys. You take off 30% of your income. It's a tough world out there. You know, agents going forward, I know we've got some agents out there who've got some really fantastic REO business, but boy, I know that crap is falling off a cliff right now. If you're going to be an agent, it's going to be like the good old days where you got to go out there and you got to earn your business. You got to belly up with potential sellers. You want to get your listings. You want to use your listings as a springboard to get more listings and more buyers. What are you doing right now that's allowing you to do that? Listing Booster has no peers in this space. I know about eProperty sites. They don't have the automated functionality that we have over here. They don't engage the properties on a level that we do. And if you manually input your properties, they don't have the ease of use. There is no peers for Listing Booster. So as a loan officer out there, it's really a case of the early bird gets the worm, okay? People are getting this right now. It's just happening. I'm flying down to Dallas here in a couple of days to go do a corporate level Listing Booster account for an entire company, okay? Now, the question that you have to ask yourself as a loan officer, would you rather have your competition going up and marketing your real estate agents who are going to say yes to this, okay, and signing them up and undermining your relationships that you have right now? Or would you rather be the early worm and sign up your competition's realtors so you can increase your business portfolio? If our business is going to fall off by 32% this next year, somebody's going to pay for it. Somebody's going to pay dearly, and some people will find a way to succeed, to overcome it. If you want to see 2014 be successful and bear fruit for you as a realtor and a lender, but specifically our lenders out there, you have to focus on the purchase market. You have to. With Listing Booster or anything else, that's what you have to do. If you're going to focus on the purchase market, you have to re-engage your realtor partners out there. You need to go talk with them. You need to help them with their marketing. You need, and I'll tell you right now, realtors, when was the last time a couple loan officers came into your office just to see what you're doing for your business and how they could be indispensable to you? I'll tell you right now, every agent out there is going, they don't do it. And I know all the agents are saying that because I talk to agents all the time and nobody is marketing effectively. But if you want to have a successful 2014, you need to go purchase market. You need to re-engage your realtor partners out there. You need to understand how you guys can work together and what you can do to make yourself indispensable to them. If you choose to take this course of action, you will find success because your competition simply isn't doing it. I know that for a fact. I travel around the country talking to agents and loan officers all the time. Frank and I both do. It is the same message all the time. So you can find your success to combat what's coming at us, which is going to be a very sparse refinance market in 2014 and even worse in 2015. And for our agents out there right now, our real estate agent partners out there right now that are looking to really exceed, to get beyond that less than one deal per month where you're doing 2, 3, 4 deals per month, a $12 commitment using Listing Booster with one of our loan officer partners out there is going to be a beautiful springboard to help you with your campaigns to find the success that I know everybody wants. This is the product for you. Now, if you are a real estate agent out there, okay, you can contact us. And if you don't have a loan officer who wants to participate, and this is happening a lot right now, but you want to participate with Listing Booster, want to let you know that we have you covered. We will hook you up with a loan officer in your area who's got Listing Booster so you guys can participate together, okay? Now, if you're a loan officer out there right now, this is something you need to sign up for, and it's something that you need to start doing right now. Everyone's going to make their new objectives and goals in a couple of weeks here after getting loaded on December 31st, okay? So let's get an early start, an early jump on what people are going to be doing in a couple of weeks. Be the early bird who gets the worm. Go out there and start to forge relationships with your realtor partners that could be relationships that will last you professionally until the day you hang up the boots. Now, if you have any questions on this, we do hold webinars on Tuesdays. I'll answer any questions then. You can always contact our support staff with questions. If you happen to have my phone number, you can contact me. What we will do is we will work diligently at getting back to you as quickly as possible. But if you want to sign up for it, all you have to do is go to listingbooster.com. Listingbooster.com. Okay? And then sign up for it. When you do, the first thing I want every single person to do is I want you to go to these how-to videos. Okay? And what these how-to videos are going to do is they're going to explain to you in 2 or 3, 5, 7-minute chunks every single thing that Listing Booster can do for you. Before you call a support desk for any questions regarding anything, I can tell you all the answers lie within here. Now, if you're like me, I have ADD and I can't focus on crap for too long, okay? So what I recommend, it's what I did. Watch one video, watch 2 videos, and move on. Watch one video, watch 2 videos. Get away from everybody so you're not going to have any noise. But after you watch these videos here, it's going to take you again, this is a big, huge commitment of time. We're looking at, I mean, it might be an hour, okay? But it will tell you everything you need to do to find success with Listing Booster in terms of how to use it so you have the confidence to have those conversations with realtors. You go to listingbooster.com, you sign up right now, you go to the dashboard, you watch these video tutorials, and I'm telling you guys, you will get a jump on the marketing above and beyond your competition. You will sign up their agents. Agents out there, contact us. We'll hook you up with loan officers, so tell your loan officers to jump in on this. And let's change our businesses going forward. 2014 is going to be a sucker for some people, but 2014 is going to be a great party for others. It just depends on what we do. And Listing Booster and Frank and myself, and I know I speak for Kevin as well, we want to be a part of your success. This is what it is. You have a chance to be one of the early adopters on it. Jump on it and find success. With that said, I hope to see you next Tuesday on our Listing Booster webinars, where we're going to answer any technical questions. Clearly, call us anytime that you want. And I very, very, very much appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.